Okay, everybody, game number 1 in our Division 6 game today. Rodimus, it's a fat team. Doesn't mean that they have to go on a diet. It's a free agent team. Going up against the Trying Dutchman. Pretty cool name, actually. So the Dutchman can't rely on Tyrande. Gets banned out immediately. But yeah, we're here in Heroes Launch Division 6, and again, I have to highlight that because people still seem to kind of sometimes make the mistake. They're looking at those videos, especially on YouTube, and they're saying like, oh my god, these are pros, that is insane, I'm much better than this. These are not pro players, these are amateur players, and we are currently looking at Division 6 and 7 at the bottom of the standings of Heroes Launch, so that means we're looking at players that are around silver, gold level, roughly. So with the Trying Dutchman banning... Okay, the fiesta has started. We see an Asmodan ban, we have Zul'jin banned out, and Gul'dan. Now, obviously, looking at Division 6, I don't really cast Division 6 too much. I'm not familiar with the two teams outside of some of the names. The Zul'jin ban looks to me personally very much so that there has been a bit of research happening, since the teams, of course, have been playing in the league for a while now. And it seems like Rodimus is known to play with Zul'jin. I cannot explain why else you would ban out Zul'jin at this point. It is Infernal Shrines, and in the lower leagues, Asmodan is oftentimes taken here, so he got banned out for that. Garrosh going up against Johanna and Jaina now, so Johanna already able to walk away with the Iron Skin. Especially, of course, if you hold that back a little bit. That's one of the mistakes that a lot of the Johanna players on the lower levels make, that they're actually having trouble to hold that cooldown back a bit more and use it too early. Kel'Thas and Alarak. The High Lord is in the game, and we have Kel'Thas to back him up with a few flames. A man that wants to see the world burn, as Alfred would say. With the bans coming in, you can target supports for now. Probably going to be a third melee hero also for Rodimus. Oriel? Okay. Oriel gets banned. Again, probably the team know each other better than I do, but an Oriel support with that setup is something where I would immediately say like, what are you doing? Malfurion would be fantastic that you can take. You can play with Alexstrasza for the Dragon Queen. You can play around. I mean, White Mane would be an option if you're worried about wave clear and you want to focus on the camps a little bit more. We've seen some of the higher up teams also go into Rhaegar a lot more recently. Deckard Cain is still good for the zoning. So Oriel is one of the last heroes that I would have considered to take here. I would have probably, in case of a Division 6, Division 7 team, picked rather Lily than Oriel, to be honest with you. There's Whiteman on the other side, yelling around again as usual. Let the Inquisition. Reyna and Jaina, it's a pretty good combo. You have a sustained damage and you have a cooldown based damage, and Jaina, of course, would like to have a bit more lockdown. That's why White Mane can be good after 13 in particular, but I would probably have loved to see them play maybe they got Cain or Malfurion here for the lockdown. Ooh, Melganis being picked, and Rodimus decides to play without a healer. Okay. It's a good, I mean, it's a ballsy choice, but you know, if you're very confident as you're heading into a game, that is a good move here. It shows confidence, and you're trying to put your foot down. You're saying, we don't even need a support to take you down. Instead, we're taking the Fruit Fly, and that's going to be enough. So, yeah. Brightwing is going to buzz around a little bit in the background and trying to heal people and pretend that she's a hero. And we have Leoric on the last pick for the Trying Dutchman. I gotta say, the draft from a damage perspective looks pretty powerful for Rodimus. But well, let's head straight into the game and check out which team is going to take game number 1 on Infernal Shrines. Game number 1, Infernal Shrines in the best of 3. To the left, Team Rodimus, the free agent team with Loki on Garrosh, Dave on Kel'Thas, Brightwing feeling good, Melganis is getting played by Chimneys, and we have Alarak played by Clef. To the right side of the map, the Trying Dutchman with Moose on Leoric, Eric's the Swift on Reyna, Kefi on Johanna, Squirrox on Jaina, and Slimp on White Mane. Pretty decent talents taken so far on level 1 here, but yep, it is going to be an interesting game for sure. Alarak, Melganis, and Garrosh. So a huge front line here for Rodimus, and a very dangerous one too. First of all, if you're playing with Melganis, you can of course use a Night Rush, which is simply sleep opponents and then set up Alarak for a combo that you pretty much just cannot miss. So it is scary what Rodimus is running here. Brightwing, all memes aside, is also another CC source that they have now with the Polymorph. So that's something that they can definitely use in this setup. But we also have Leoric, so he's going to get a lot out of the skeleton swing, considering that there's so much melee against him in those later fights over the shrine. But the setup that we see for Rodimus is definitely extremely powerful here. It's a bit of a question how much Jaina can really deliver here. She in particular is going to be able to slow down the front line of their opponent a lot with a good Cone of Cold and Blizzard. And obviously when everybody at the front line starts stacking up, maybe in one of those choke points, you should be able to get a lot of damage out. Talking about damage, there's already a setup there with Mal'Ganis. He's thinking about making a move. Needs to rotate up top, so they were trying to get a bit of a hit in, but he's missing out on a few of those minions already. Lost a couple, and that's a slight experience lead for the red team in a few seconds through those waves after they pick up the extra one down here. It's nothing too crazy yet, but it's definitely something where Mal'Ganis in the foreseeable future needs to be a little bit more cautious. Kind of timed it well enough, though. Didn't really lose too much. Doesn't really matter too much there. They were trying to get a kill instead. Talking about kills, Loki, yep, goes in, gets the flip, but not quite where he wanted it. So instead of throwing Slimp on the other side, he just threw Slimp back onto the mercenary camp. No, you take it, I don't want it, you take that mercenary camp. Made sure that, yeah, that white main would definitely grab it. Kefi himself is now starting to go in for the flank here. Polymorph, Gravity Labs, like the amount of CC is actually nuts. I mean, this is disgusting. They just went in and started with the first stun, then the Gravity Labs, the Polymorph, and John was just sitting there. It's like, Jesus, can you please let me play the game? It's like, I can't move, I can't do anything. I'm pretty much down here. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty much everything that's happening during those fights if the coordination is good on Rodimus' side, because that's what they're going to try and do. CC them into the ground while the damage comes out through Kel'Thas, who went into Mana Addict on level 1. Haven't really talked about that, but yeah, we don't see Convection. Always something we have to point out in Division 7 and Division 6. This game, obviously, a Division 6 game today. Standard build for Leoric. We've seen a few adjustments in the recent past, but in this case we're still seeing them play with Neil Peasants. Already, Garrosh in a bit of trouble, trying to move away here. Brightwing is getting wrecked too, and they're invading the camp. And I hate to say it, Alarak, but you stayed a bit too long there. He's down, and now apparently Mal'Ganis wants a piece of the action too. Everybody's moving in for that. And the throw. Oh, Loki with the attempt to throw someone over here and take them down, but the throw is a little bit too short, and then he himself is too far out and gets taken apart. Double kill for the trying Dutchman. They're trying, and so far they are succeeding. So they have the double kill. They have also the lead in experience now by nearly a level. They took the camp away too, so they basically stole everything. They took their lunch money and they beat them and kicked them when they were on the ground too. Total bullies. Total bullies. Gave them a tulip to make them feel better, but that obviously didn't change anything. KFE still trying to protect the team here a bit, but they're already very far ahead when it comes to the minion stacks. Great penetrating round there from Jim Raynor, just as the attempt from Garrosh comes through. The Groundbreaker here. They're starting to make their way back into the shrine. We still have Mal'Ganis in the middle, and Leo is at the top, but it's 33 against 9 points, and you shouldn't really be able to pick that up any longer. There's the level 7 talents now too. That makes things, of course, worse. Polymorph, after Condemn, was already activated, so it still sucks them in here. And there's the first Punisher. Now the question, where is the stun getting procced? They're starting to run away. And Alarak moves to the top. If the Punisher would have sniffed that out, that could have been a kill right there. So they're baiting it over the wall. Nice, I like it. Commendable. Making sure that they're burning it down very, very quickly. And at least the wall is currently taken apart by the trying Dutchman. And trying to make the play again for Garrosh here. Garrosh always looking for a flip. And now, the red team just moving away from it. And actually it worked really well. Get the wall, get half of the HP on the fort, and immediately rotate back towards the camp and take that too. So things are really working out for them. The one thing I want to highlight is the build on Johanna. So Zealous Glare taken on level 7 for her after already going for the Sins Exposed. Now we've seen Sims Exposed in the past quite a bit. You can definitely play that, but on level 7 normally we have adjustments. I mean, on both tiers. Level 4 quite often is just a condemn spec. You're trying to get either the cooldown reduction so that you have more wave clear, or instead you can just simply say, hey, I want to have a faster engage, I want to have the chance to move away from my opponent and go into the condemn movement speed. Neither one has been taken, so full focus in the shield clear for Johanna. With a 16 talent later on, we're probably going to see her also with the added value for sustain, of course, getting the heal out. But for the time being, definitely one of the few builds that was significantly changed there. You look over to Reyna, it's pretty much the norm what you see from him. But to the top lane, again, these rotations happening with experience. Now I have to say that Trying Dutchman, I mean, they are currently pretty much doing what is supposed here. The front line is not too much of a concern just yet. Level 10 abilities, of course, going to shake things up quite significantly. And that is really also where I would like them to do a little bit more, because they're getting a camp now, and they have nearly level 10. So they don't time it around the objective. Would really love for them to push either with it or force a fight somewhere else and try and use that level 10 ability. Or they can just hold on for it to it. Need to be careful that Mal'Ganis doesn't walk over later and steals it away. If he wants to scout that out and sees that, he's going to take that freebie for sure. Whitemane is still sticking around in the area and is saying, okay guys, I protect that. Ring of Frost, nice setup here. Blast Shield into Ring of Frost or Entomb into Ring. That can be used by them. They leave the camp at the top alone and invade now the bottom of the map. Garrosh again looking if he can maybe grab someone here for a little bit of extra damage and stacking his own level 1 up. But the level 10 abilities give them the lead. And now we're just having everyone rotating towards the middle as both teams are about to hit their heroics. And that gives us now on the other side the taunt, obviously. We're having the Carrion Swarm as well. And the Deadly Charge. Brightwing playing a little bit of a tease. I mean, come on, we all know it's going to be Emerald Wind. Actually, it's Division 6. It might not be Emerald Wind. It could very well also be the extra heals there. Brightwing trying to pretend that she can actually help. Top Shrine. So far the camps haven't really been taken there. But we're having 2 kills only against 0. And now the big fight of the game. Because this is really when you have heroic abilities. This is when you need to make a bit of a stand if you are Team Rodimus. And try and take the opponent down. Trying Dutchman, of course, with that lead that they have. If they get another Punisher, they should be able to snowball experience in their favor pretty nicely. Brightwing is getting some value through the global, playing it safe too, not engaging too far into the lane, since she doesn't know when the opponent is there. Camp is actually taken, but it's a bit late already. Up to the top, we're already seeing the first minions, first stacks in the hands of the Trying Dutchman. They have also the lead in the fight over the Arcane Punisher. There's Brightwing with the Emerald Wind as expected. Phoenix used. And there is the attack straight with the Ring of Frost. The double hit. And Mal'Ganis is down. Hyperion, Entomb, and Ring of Frost. They all land. And that's an easy quad kill. Easy quad kill. Brightwing not even getting a chance to go straight into the Emerald Wind. And also Mal'Ganis hasn't used his ult either. Might have been able to dodge some of the damage. But after the lockdown through Jaina's Ring of Frost, he wasn't able to move out of this. They're starting to move in now. Ooh, nice alert combo. Starting to move in now to drop as many of the structures as they can before they go for the objective itself. Leoric already has said, okay, this is pretty much done. Moves to the bottom of the map to get more experience here. But I'm actually not quite sure if they should have abandoned the top that easily, because it looks like Team Rodimus is saying like, YOLO, let's go boys. Level 13 talents give a lead to the red team, but they need to move back now. Or simply take those last few hits. Yeah, I think they're going to go for the last few stacks quite easily. And to be fair, Rodimus has now also decided that it's too late, which indeed it is, and has started to rotate into the mid lane themselves. But the Arcane Punisher top side with a talent lead should definitely give the Trying Dutchman a chance to not only drop the fort, but get also maybe a kill or two behind this if they play their cards right. And that's a big push happening, and here's the setup already. Stun is in, Indomitable is used afterwards even, but Johanna wasn't in range to get the Blessed Shield into play. So she's still sitting there. They're trying to get that. They have their setup. They're lacking the Hyperion, but the Ring of Frost is still there. And there's also Leoric now for the Entomb, and he can ghost in and try and get that. They go for Johanna. Leoric is looking for the setup. He's trying to move in. Can come from the angle. Makes the move. And there it is. Nicely done. Again, the Hyperion, the Entomb. The kill against Garrosh. He saves Brightwing. But the kill against Mal'Ganis still happens. And now after the fort has been eliminated, the wall at the keep falls too. The Punisher jumps in again. Brightwing is probably not feeling good anymore. And we see them put the pressure onto the keep too. The level 13 talents by now ready finally for Team Rodimus, but they are already 2 levels behind. We see them now with a backdraft. Still a talent that I really don't want to see on a Kel'Thas. Yes, that movement speed reduction can be kind of nice, but at the same time, when you think about the alternatives, they are just so much better. And oftentimes when you think about that as a talent, it makes most sense if you're up against an opponent that plays a very melee-heavy setup, so that those bombs spread even more and you get the entire slow the entire time. But that's not really the case here. If any of the two teams plays a melee-heavy setup, it's actually Team Rodimus themselves. So backdraft is, for me personally, always a little bit of a weird pick to have on 13. It just doesn't really synergize with most of this. The slows are great and are nice, but we have already a fair amount of CC on the other side anyway, so I don't really think it's necessary. Especially since Kel'Thas is the only real damage dealer in this lineup. He needs to make sure that he gets a lot out of that. Through living bombs, through flame strikes, whatever build you choose in the end. 16 in the hands now. And with that, we should see another Shield Glare talent for Johanna, getting now the sustain at that front line. And she doesn't! She goes for Imposing Presence, which isn't a bad choice either. You could go for Shield Glare and try and make sure that you get your own sustain, but at the same time, Imposing Presence is of course fantastic when you're now up against 3 frontliners. So that's another good talent for her, no doubt about that. Not quite what I expected after the focus in the early stages on 4 and 7. But it still works quite nicely for those shrine fights. The timing on the Iron Skin can be a little bit better for her for sure. But now Leo is starting to rotate in too, and keep in mind that that combo is up again. And they've been using that combo already a fair bit. Here comes the engage onto Johanna. Leoric is there, but doesn't move in right away. Give Me More, by the way, as a level 16 choice. Works with your level 4, so it's not really too bad. Fort goes down, and Leo with the Entomb, and that's the end of Garrosh. Or is it? Because Brightwing is trying to be useful. Gets the Emerald Wind through, but doesn't help enough. One more kill secured, and that is them now, again, 2 levels ahead. But yeah, the 16 for Reyna works out. Again, Panem Red is usually the choice, so that you have with your penetrating around the extra heal in particular. This case, we don't see that taken by Jimmy, but we still have some synergy here. So definitely some adjustments that you can still make on talents if you want to emulate the higher level play, but still something that works out for them. And with the 16 talents here, now even an invade on the Shaman camp on the top left side. Taking that down, taking a tool away from your opponent, and even committing to your own. So this is a really nice setup for the next objective here. Because let's face it, Rodimus has a fight there. They will have level 16 talents, and with level 16 talents, we're going to look at an even battle in at least talents. But the problem is that after Chim Chim and Dave have taken apart the top lane push, this one is gonna hurt, especially since there's also a catapult already on the way. So they can't spend too much time down here. They have to eventually do something about it. 2 ults thrown out though, and both not really connecting. Blessed Shield and Entomb are now both out, and in an even fight, that's a problem. Here comes the Iron Skin. Ring of Frost is hitting 3. Great damage from Jaina, but the deadly charge from Alarak goes in. They're trying to get the kill against the front line, and they take down Garrosh, but it seems like Jaina might fall too. She barely gets away. Whiteman with a save here, and the turnaround attempt against the Dreadlord. Mal'Ganis moves away barely. Brightwing attempting to help them out too. Hasn't even used the Emerald Wind just yet. Brightwing holding the cooldown there a bit longer, but the top keep is now under pressure because that push has finally arrived, and it looks like the keep is going to fall. Mal'Ganis is trying to move there in time, but it seems very unlikely that he's going to be able to save this right now. He's trying though. Focus shifts a little bit, and he might just be able to get it. Probably not. But down here, the Entomb is up again. Oh, that's a double Entomb! Mew says, I got them, boys, I got them! And everybody is just like, dude, there's no one here. It's like, move back. But he wanted to have some style points. Moose don't worry, my friend. Don't worry, buddy. I gotcha. I got you. We all saw it. You hit 2 people within Entomb. We're proud of you. Your team didn't support you. And it's all good. We still saw it. It still counts. It still counts. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. He was just sitting there in voice. You know it. He was like, team, 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 team! Nothing happens. Well, 19 against 17 now in a few seconds. Look at that kill count though. 10 against 0. The deadly charge on Alarak earlier put him into a position where he nearly took down Jaina, but he wasn't able to secure the kill. Now Leoric moved into the middle. I'm a little bit doubtful about that. He has Entomb back up, so I'm not quite sure why he doesn't use it down here, especially since they are threatening them again. Lockdown attempt against Loki. They want to go for the keep. Leoric is now making his way in. He took one wave in the middle. But again, that's a little bit too much. By now, the Punisher has already baited into the mid. Oh, the Deadly Charge doesn't hit anything! And the Entomb doesn't hit anything either. Moose, I had your last attempt, but I also saw this one, my friend. So yeah, that Entomb was unfortunate. Alright, Keep at the top lane has been eliminated. Keep at the bottom of the map still surviving, but the Talons, that's the problem. 19, nearly 20 against 17, so the Storm Talons any moment now in this game. The numbers in the game, we have so far 33,000 damage through Jim Raynor. And, well, he's pretty much hitting like a truck there. Jaina doesn't quite get that much out just yet, even though she seems to hit most of those Ring of Frosts pretty nicely. Currently looking at 20k, 23,000 also for Kel'Thas. But yeah, they could have gotten a keep out of the last one. Pretty sure. They have their 20s though, and here comes the approach. Could go even for the Blessed Shield. Brightwing is there. And Leo was a bit late. Would have loved to drop a quick Entomb, but of course Kel'Thas also zoning them out with the Phoenix. Let's not forget that Phoenix is actually on a really low cooldown just in general. There's the chance for the triple, and Entomb! No, he gets polymorphed, but he still hits Garrosh. Garrosh is hit, and here comes the ring, baby! Jaina is down, but everybody is so low. Emerald win from Brightwing. They try to isolate Johanna here. It is amazing that nobody died on the side of Team Rodimus, but they survived through all of it, and they're going for Johanna. Indestructible procs. Jimmy is there, so is Leo, but she still dies to the living bomb. Oh my god. Johanna is gonna be really pissed about that. Down to the bottom of the map though, they need to deal with this one, and they do, but again, the fort or the keep is falling even lower in HP, so eventually you need to be careful with this. 19 on the side of the blue team now. And to be fair, it's an honest chance that we're going to see level 20 for the next, and we will see level 20 for the next shrine from them. So it's actually not too bad. They still have a chance to come back into this. And the last fight was really interesting. I feel that was it was a good moment there when Jaina once again hit the Ring of Frost after the Leoric setup, but they couldn't quite get the kill there. Oh, Melganis at the top though, and the rest rotates in too, and Moose is saying, okay, I'm out of here. Yeah, they were hoping for a kill in that instant. But there's now the level 20 on the side of Team Rodimus. And the shrine spawns top side. That's the best case scenario for them. Because the top side is where they lost their keep earlier. So now they can defend against the in-pushing waves. And at the same time, try and make the play for the objective. They don't have a fountain there anymore, which is a bit of a problem. Because we still have one over here. But it needs to be protected. Guys, you need to protect that fountain. They try and look for the Entomb again. Leo's a little bit out of position for that, but there's an Entomb chance. That should be an easy kill, not even using the Entomb. Easy Swiffer to the face. There comes the cleanup job, and the Entomb hits too. Immediately the setup with Hyperion. And Raynor with the damage. The ring hits Brightwing. Ice Block is too late. Trying to make the play here. Melganis with his sleep. The Fell Claws. He's jumping through the entire team. Keeps himself alive. Melganis is dancing around everyone. Keeping himself in play. And they do not lose a second, hero. 30 seconds until we have Garrosh back. Everybody healing. And just now the shrine about to be activated. This isn't over just yet, but damn, the Dreadlord, did you guys see that? He was everywhere, jumping through the entire team, keeping them low. Phoenix comes out, they're still fighting, they still don't care. We don't have Garrosh back, but they are not afraid. They go in 4 versus 5, and they're trying to buy as much time as they can. And they're even taking a few of those stacks. They get even a couple of stacks. Finally, we have a bit of wave clear happening. Johanna moves in once more. They're trying to go for the Dreadlord, and he barely gets out. Fell Claws having it possible. Get some damage in. Brightwing already with a jump, and the rest of the team is moving back onto the shrine. Clef is also taking a bit of a beating. Melganis is of course low, needs the heal. 70 now, 18 against 8, the numbers on it. What is Jaina doing? Jaina needs to use her 20, blinks out of that quick fight here, and uh-oh, Melganis is walking into the buried alive. He's dead, and so is Alarak. He got Ala wrecked. There's the taunt. There's again the Ring of Frost. This time it's missing. Doesn't hit jack shit, but still Brightwing with the attempt of a good move with the isolation. But no, Garrosh is down. Everybody is low, and Moose is going for the cleanup job. He is going to clean this up. No more fruit flies. And Brightwing gets actually away, together with Dave. Leo showing some mercy. Leo showing some mercy. The problem is that the rest of the team is not going to show any mercy here, because it's 14 kills against 2, 22 on the board in terms of levels, and they're starting to move straight towards the core with an Arcane Punisher, and things are not looking pretty at this point in time for Team Rodimus. In comes the kill against Kel'Thas, and that seals that deal as the Trying Dutchman turn into the succeeding Dutchman and take the core down in game number 1 in this best of 3 series of Heroes launch. Our Division 6 game, the first one ending in favor of the red team. GG and well played. Brax's holdout, the Trying Dutchman against Team Rodimus, game number 2. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Rodimus started with a Brightwing handicap into game number 1. It didn't quite work out for them. Game number 2, are we going to see real support? That's the big question. But also a very different map, of course. And as you can tell, the map choice is from Team Rodimus. We have first pick, first ban for the Trying Dutchman. So Brax's holdout has been chosen by Team Rodimus. And maybe they have a bit of a strategy set up, especially, of course, for this 1-versus-1 lane up to the top. So call me intrigued. Johanna banned out after last game. I don't think he played bad, but he didn't play well enough to warrant a ban against the hero, I would say. Then, of course, if you think about it, Johanna also provides you with a bit of wave clear at that bot lane. So if you're afraid of the 4-man, then and the 4-man wave clear, then that might be a good choice here, at least on Division 6. We have the Zul'jin ban again, so banning out one of the one-tricks, apparently, for Team Rodimus, not giving him his favorite hero. That's what we're seeing there. I just want to see what the game plan is for Rodimus. Usually when we're having something more iffy coming in, something where a team thinks they have a cool strategy, it's more so centered around the top lane, where you try to win heavily by taking a pick that your opponent doesn't expect. But the whole idea of Brax is, of course, with the 2-lane split, that you have a winning 1-versus-1, and ideally also a winning 4-man. So the 4-man wave clear is going to be important, and the Trying Dutchmen are already going for Gul'dan to have that wave clear set up right there. But it's time for Rodimus to give us at least a glimpse of their plan for game number 2. If they want to force this in the game number 3, they need a victory right now. And there's Hanzo. Okay. Honor! Honor! And Jaina. Sexy skin for her. Good damage, good wave clear. Great Ring of Frost that we had from the opponent's team in the last game. Taking that away. And that's actually a good setup for the bottom lane already. It's actually already pretty sweet. Gul'dan now. Who is he going to be joined by? Melganis on the other side with a techno skin. Going full mech in this one. And Whitemane again. Alrighty. So Melganis and Whitemane. And Melganis is of course in the spot where he can be part of the 4-man. Or he can try and play the solo lane here. So normally these days we see him more as one of the main tanks. So we can still check that out. The bans, I mean, at this point, it depends a little bit on what we want to do with Jimmy. They could ban out Jim Rayner. I mean, already he did a lot of work in the last game, so that might be one of the things that you are considering here. But they are trying to make the top lane a bit safer and ban out Leoric, who usually has a good time there. So apparently they have no plans of picking Leo themselves. But I still doubt that they would pick Rayner for themselves. They already have 2 damage dealers, and even here, we usually don't get to see any setup that centers around you running a triple backline. Oriel banned again, and I mean more and more it really seems like the Trying Dutchmen have done their homework and didn't only realize that there's a strong Sul'jin player on the other side, but they also try and home in on Oriel very heavily, and so Oriel gets banned out again. Now from a meta perspective, again, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but if you know that your opponent is limited in their hero choices and they favor a certain hero, bans in that camp make probably more sense than anything else. Dagart Kane, picked now. I like that hero a lot more than I would have liked Oriel with that mix. I already tell you that much. And Anubarak with him. Moment of truth. The Trying Dutchman. What's it going to be for that top lane? I doubt that it's going to be Mal'Ganis, but it still could be. Thrall, okay. Thrall for the top lane. And Azmodan. Oh, okay. Azmodan probably at the... Actually... Nah, I would like Azmodan at the bottom of the map because he needs some stacks, and for that you kind of need that 4-man. Thrall can easily stack for himself up to the top, but then later on you can make a rotation happen for sure, but initially he's definitely going to need some help here. But yeah, Azmodan was banned out in the last game on Infernal Shrines, and Brax's Holder they didn't really feel the need, and now the Trying Dutchmen are going straight in for him. What's going to be the counterpart at the top? Zagara! Alright, haven't seen her in a hot minute. So we have our lineup set up. Zagara and Azmodan, ladies and gentlemen, are going to meet in this game. The Trying Dutchman against Team Rodimus. We are heading into Brax's Holdout. Game number 2, and we are heading into Brax's Holdout. Loki on Anubarak for Team Rodimus. We have Dave on Jaina, feeling good on Dagart Kane, Clef on Hanzo, and Chim Chim on Zagara. And on the right side of the map, the Trying Dutchman. They're trying again. We have Squirrels on Gul'dan, Eric's the Swift on Azmodan, Kefi on Mal'Ganis, Muse on Thrall, and Slimp on Whitemane. And as expected, Thrall is already orientating himself towards the top lane, making a lot of sense since you want to have someone to help Azmodan stacking in the early game. Already everybody rotating into the 4-man setup down here, and that's where Azmodan can really get a lot of stacks. Not only because of the minions, but also because you have a lot more hero density here. Zagara going into the Infest on level 1, so Thrall is going to try and stack first of all the Echo of Elements against her as quickly as he can to poke her down more quickly. And he has a lot of sustain there, so that battle at the top lane is going to be an interesting one. But down here we're going to keep our eyes on Azmodan in particular. Already starting to attack the minions a bit, but it's a 4 versus 4. I need to be careful. And there comes the damage, and the attempt to take those minions down didn't quite work out the way that we were hoping for, but they still got a few. So some stacks for Azmodan here, at least get something out of this. But of course the idea would be to get more and quickly stack this so that you can really start firing away, dominating also the siege damage particularly. So we're going to keep our eye on that for sure. That being said, kill potential is another thing to watch out for. Azmodan with another big hit. Having a few more in. Squirrox here, already low. Needs to be very, very careful against Hanzo. The setup that we see for Rodimus is definitely one that allows you to get good kills out whenever Anubarak gets the dive in. And let's not forget that Anubarak is the only melee hero in this setup. Well, I guess technically Dagart Kane is a melee hero too, but you know what I mean. He's the only frontliner. So that makes this lineup quite squishy, especially in the late game. So they kind of have to try and dominate through the objective and through the push alone. Another setup here for the minions. And they're going straight in for the potential kill against Anubarak. And Loki is low, but borrows away barely. Close call from him, for sure. Now we have all of a sudden Hanzo in trouble. Mal'Ganis is trying to get a setup here for a quick kill, but that's not quite working out. Hanzo jumps out. Anubarak is taking over, and now they have both of those beacons under their control because the top lane is currently dominated by Zagara. Muis is starting to move in here, but as long as Zagara has mana, she's going to be fine. On the other side, at the bottom of the map, Asmo with another hit, and they are securing the beacon for the time being. Zagara still doing work up top side. Another quick globe, hits one here, and so far Azmodan is stacking mostly through hitting heroes instead of trying to burst these minion waves down, which is fine too. Gets quite a few stacks in, he's not the only one. 8 stacks at this time, 11, 4, Gul'dan, another globe hitting 2. But again, both of the beacons under the control of Team Rodimus. And up to the top lane, yeah, Thrall has some trouble. He's extremely low. He needs to be careful of the Hydras. He's soaking the experience, but he's not going to be able to hold that beacon for long. 44% against 0. The fight straight here in the bottom of the map. Again, recapturing the beacon. Gul'dan is low, but Jaina can't follow it up. Gets attacked by Mal'Ganis before she has a chance to deliver the final blow against the hero. Again, in, out, the entire time. Stack after stack coming in for Azmodan. They're starting to laser away here too. And Anubarak is low, but Hanzo is in real trouble. He's the one dying first. First blood for them, nearly getting a second kill in against Loki on his Anubarak. As we see the Trying Dutchman take a lead in experience at the bot lane. Anub has to move back too, running out of mana here with all the globes that he's been firing through the entire time. Thrall topside with mana tied on level 4 was able to get already 17 stacks on his Echo of Elements, so he's soon going to be able to get the double charge out there. And with the Zagara starting to fall behind in mana a little bit, this is also a time where Thrall might be able to do something about this top lane. Azmodan is actually moving in to capture the top. And in the meantime, we have a camp taken by Rodimus, so they have to try and interrupt this down here. It's contested for now, trying to zone them out, but this is going to be a bit of a start in the progress bar for the Trying Dutchman. And they're trying to zone the opponent out as much as they can. Azmodan starting to rotate back down. Zagara is currently none the wiser, can't do anything about it. But down at the bottom of the map, of course, the attempt to go for an attack here. Another hit, and another score. 64 stacks currently for Azmodan. Nothing crazy, but I mean at least getting something. And they still hold on to this. 46% against 28. Another hit from Asmo. 72 for now from him. If they can combine that a bit more with those minion waves, then he should very, very quickly start to get solid numbers onto the board. But there's another big hit in the back. Blizzard comes through too. And Jaina always really much exposing herself here as she's trying to go for the backline. Especially Whitemane and Gul'dan are two of the heroes that she's trying to get whenever she can. Zagara with the top connect again, and now we are having the progress bar running wild once more for the team in blue. 62, 66%. Jaina getting low, level 7, quicker in the hands of the Dutchman. And they're trying to set something up here, as we have the full Inquisition build being used here. Starting to move straight into that point again. And desperate plea, no bad, desperation. Stacks are being gathered, and again, the kill, no, the lockdown. Oh, Blizzard has a nice follow-up here against Mal'Ganis. Job well done. 100 stacks for Azmodan. Zagara at the top side trying to reclaim the spot. Asmo, does he have the hit? Jaina against him. Laser taken on level 7 actually at this point. Master of Destruction. Also going to try and get, of course, more stacks on those Annihilation. There's a tap at the fountain again. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just a battle for the late game that they're fighting here. And the longer they can hold this out, the more pressure they're going to get. You just look at the damage numbers alone, and Azmodan is already sitting at 12,000, shortly behind Gul'dan. So it's not really too bad, but it's Hanzo that with all that poke damage does most of the work here. One globe through. They wait for... Mal'Ganis just steals the stacks away. Shows no mercy here. Says, dude, if you don't kill them, I will. 121 stacks. 32, by the way, for Gul'dan. He's doing well with the Echoed Corruption. And Mal'Ganis is going in again, trying to go for the Nightcore. Doesn't get the damage out just yet. There's again the lockdown. Blizzard from Jaina. She's trying to go a bit deeper. Is nearly about to fall. Gets the potion before anyone else can deliver the final damage point here. Azmodan with another globe soon, and there we have it. Gets one more minion out of that. But you look at experience, and it's really the Dutchman that still have that half-level lead, and that works out well for them. Another nice burn, and the kill against Anubarak. 78% against 64. Zagara now zoned out quite heavily from Thrall, and a good position for Thrall to be in too. And if she's trying to move in for that, she is going to be in trouble, and she knows that too. This is going to be the lead for the Dutchman. Oh, nicely done. Good wolf that connects here. And the follow-up right away. Gets the globe too. Wave much, much bigger right now for... Well, that's actually not true. The Trying Dutchman, they get the bigger wave. Don't get me wrong. But it's not that much of a difference. Gul'dan has already moved to the top to make sure that they have the wave clear here. But the bottom of the map, that's where the entire blue team is currently defending. The level 10 ability is really what's going to be the big difference between the two of them. since the Dutchmen are likely to grab it right now. And if they set that up to get a quick kill, they could definitely try and make the play down here now. Oh, and they get the damage through. They're trying to go for Asmodan though. Takes a lot of damage here, and he actually did not go for the Tide of Sin. He went straight into the Demonic Evasion and drops it to get the damage and try to burn down the fort with his teammates. But Mal'Ganis is walking in way too deep in that 3 versus 4, and that is the kill against the front line. Asmodan still on the run, gets a few hits against him. 155 stacks for him, 160 by now, gets more damage through. And in terms of structural damage, they're pretty much even. Wasn't too much of a difference. Asmodan's ult is a little bit of a weird one though, if you consider the build that he goes for and how much he's able to stack here. I would have really expected Tide of Sin to be taken, but that's not the case. So now we have another attempt to go maybe even for the camp here. Asmodan should try and go for those stacks, doesn't, but gets still the hit in against 2 heroes in the back and continues to stack even more. Ring of Frost doesn't hit anything. Good dodge from KFE. Horrify, on the other hand, was perfect if you didn't try to kill anybody. Just pushing everyone back to safety on the other side. So a bit of a miss that we just saw there from Gul'dan. Squirrox was trying, but yeah, if he hits it a little bit farther to the left, they're probably able to get a kill just on the back of that. But they're still putting the pressure on. Still going straight down to the bottom of the map here. And in an attempt to burn the keep down. There's the completion on the quest, not only for Deckard, who completes his level 1, but for Gul'dan too. Echoed Corruption is now a thing, and there's the Demonic Evasion again. And they might just get a Nubarak. Oh, no! Nubarak's still moving away. Has the Subterranean shield and also got his W back, so there's the shields there. But yeah, Eric's the Swift the entire time. Demons! More demons! Cooldown is not really too bad for Asmodan here. They get the structure also. And Asmodan is nearly done with his baseline quest. It looks like Mal'Ganis has a bit of a suicide wish. Ooh, Jaina. Actually eating that entire globe there. You look at the damage output and also the siege damage as Zagara gets wrecked by Thrall at the top lane. Good job by that bad boy. Zagara, by the way, is sitting at this point at twice the amount of hero damage that Thrall has, so she's really been buddying in the early game very heavily. But now that he has his level 7, the story has definitely changed. And I mean, of course, not only the level 7, he used Sundering as well to get the kill against Zagara in that encounter. But if you, at the same time, look at his level 7, now that he has the Ancestral Wrath, that of course helps him to stay a bit safer on lane and burst her down even quicker. And the one thing that Zagara just doesn't have compared to Thrall is the same amount of self-sustain. She doesn't have that. Again, the ring not hitting anything. Oh, the Lul Strike! They went for Lul Strike! I didn't even see it! Lul Strike value in the choke point, tickling a few heroes, and then Hanzo with the final blow, even obliterating Asmodan. And here's the engage again from the side with a flank from Nudarak. And Gul'dan is down. They are gonna get white main too. Yep, she's isolated. Deckard Cain with a play. And here comes the counter attempt, and Nubarak just went a bit too deep. He's like, I got this, I got this. I don't got this, I don't got this. Help, team, help. There was nobody there to help. So with that said, can you, by the way, see the difference about playing the game with a support and without a support? I can tell you one thing, Team Rodimus currently is experiencing that, and it's a completely new feeling for them. Sundering, on the other hand, might still mean that Deckard Cain is in trouble, but he's still able to walk out of this quite easily. So he walks away from it. But the objective is again being fought over, and the teams are both on level 13. Asmodan going into the Sidere's Kiss right now. So the channel time is going to be reduced. A good synergy with the level 7 talent if you're going for that. And you have a bit of self-sustain too, on top of all of it. So yeah. Here comes the hit again. Asmodan at 208 stacks. Yes, there's the channel time and the damage. Gets a few more stacks out of that too. But they have to be careful here. Okay, Lonado's coming through still, but the army. Yep, there's the demonic invasion and all those demons moving in and being pesky. Thrall has an entire lane to himself. It's a 5 versus 4 at the bottom of the map, and Thrall is just staying at the top lane and just saying like, come on, I'll take it. Zagara with the Nidus network is now moving up to the top again, but down here, Nubarak is in trouble, but is able to borrow charge away, and thanks to the Subterranean shield, he actually survives. But it's a massive wave now for the Trying Dutchman. 100% against 0. And that is going to obliterate top lane. Jaina, on the other hand, as she rotates, might be able to help Zagara to prevent the worst. To be fair, with them now rotating Deckard Cain over, they might even be able to save their fort. Because the rotation from the red team is really, really slow here. And yeah, they get this pretty easily right now. Another blizzard, and they're pretty much saving that. But of course, the engage is already on the way. 14 versus 14. Hans is in a bit of trouble as Thrall chases him down. Gul'dan is the only one who will stay top bot side. The ring against 3! But a great white main ult, and the Carrion Swarm comes in. The Lull Strike just, yeah, is there. Shows some really nice flashing lights, and it's pretty cool fireworks, about as effective in damage output too, but still Asmodan falling as we have the engage happening. Also Cocoon, and all of a sudden there's a lot more trouble brewing for the Trying Dutchman. They still have the Guardians up at the top, but that might be a kill against... Yeah, good lockdown. That's the kill against Mal'Ganis. He nearly got away there, but then the lockdown threw a Nubarak. They're still half level ahead, and they've taken, of course, both of those forts, which gives them a lead in passive experience. But still, they're doing their thing. So, I mean, the question that we all have to ask is, why not go into the arrow on Hanzo? If you go arrow here and you just follow up on a Nubarak's engage, especially after he hits level 16 with the epicenter, you get so much value there to allow Jaina to set the Ring of Frost into play, or just simply drop the Blizzard. But unfortunately for them, that's not what's happening here. So with that said, we have Team Rodimus just having a huge amount of problems in those fights to get the early kill. They get that kill, don't get me wrong. But it's always after they lose the objective, after they get pushed. It's more so whenever the Trying Dutchman just push in a little bit too far, they're able to get counter kills here and then turn it around. But they would have been so good to really engage into these battles and set the kills up if they had a bit more out of it. The idea to use the Ring of Frost to lock the target in place and then get the Dragon Strike out might in theory be nice, but in order for it to work, Lull Strike would need to do damage. And it just doesn't. It just simply doesn't. I don't know what else to say. So it is definitely a huge problem there. Also, the setup is really difficult to execute properly. 16 talents on both sides, and Asmodan is going full on laser build at this point. Hell Rift taken on level 16. I'm a little disappointed that we're not seeing a heavier focus into the orb. I think that would have done a lot here, but he's still getting some damage out. Talking about damage, top side. Thrall gets the wolf in, and well, he's not the only one who's rotating top side. All of a sudden, the rest of the team is in trouble too. They're isolating Anubra completely. There's the lockdown. Even Cocoon is... Oh, I was about to say not going to save him. He might still fall, but also Mal'Ganis. They're going to get Jaina. They're going to get Jaina out of this. Yep, Jaina goes down. She still gets the ring though. Oh, and here comes the strike again, and it just doesn't do enough. They're still able to take the kill against Whitemane though, but Anubarak is also dead. A 2-for-2 trade with a camp pushing bot lane, and that's a big one too. Of course, Asmodan is still pretty active with his trade the entire time and making sure that these waves are even more effective. Now we're having Asmodan already at the bottom of the map, and they're going to get the lead in objective number 3. And the demonic invasion from Asmodan is so far also giving him some value. Red team is currently not really moving out. Clef is probably going to try and take control back. But Asmodan can just laser him. If he's alone, that's not going to happen. Oh, there's already the first one. Clef is afraid, you can tell. He doesn't know where they are. 54% already secured, and then he's finally able to interrupt it. Level 13 talents, by the way. We have the super healing potion. Haven't really talked about that just yet. So normally the ancient blessing is pretty powerful here. Scroll of the Stone Curse now too for some extra damage on Deckard Cain. And when we look at the damage numbers, he himself on 13,000, Asmodan on 38 by now. Has died twice in the game, but is able to get with the demonic invasion quite a fair share of damage out in this. Still an attempt to bait someone. I mean, there's a bit of a trap set up, but nobody's falling for it right now. The blue team is just saying, like, yeah, we're happy taking your fort at the bot lane if you're not coming, because we don't need that objective right now. We're pretty happy where we are. We're just trying to take your structures down, and if you let us do that, then we're happily obliged. It's a nice trap, but my question is, why would anybody walk here? If someone walks here, he's dead instantly, but why would anybody of the blue team walk there? That's my main question. The problem with a trap is you have to set the trap in an area that your opponent wants to go to in the first place. then, to be fair, a second after they move away, Loki actually face checks the bush. So, could have worked after all. They just needed to stay a little bit longer for that. Still level 19, closing in for the Trying Dutchman, so they have a very solid lead in experience that would help them to get the early level 20. Zagara, with her ult, is able to cross the map a bit quicker. So far the Nidus network down here hasn't been destroyed yet, hasn't been found out. Ooh, Hanzo. Ooh boy. Ooh boy, need to be a little careful there, that was a close call. If Mal'Ganis gets the first hit, and you are toast, my friend. But now we have level 19 and they're stealing camps all over the place. The retake of the beacon at the bot lane, 64% against 0 right now. You can't fight for this one. Ring of Frost actually hits, but can still use the Karen Swarm, but you don't want to fight there still. The meme strike doesn't get a lot of work, but again, Gul'dan could use the Horrify. Hasn't done that yet. Goes straight in, and there's the kill against the Nubarak. That's why you don't want to go for that battle. But they get Thrall. They get Thrall, but in the same time, the Deckard Cain dies. And Globe to the face, and Jaina is down. 3 kills versus 1, and level 20 is soon, and Clef is still on a run. Trying to run away here. But Kefi wasn't able to lock him down anyways. 20 is in, and that means that we have Storm Talons now. Big wave coming soon. Azmodan is taking top side, and they actually go for Hanzo now. Is he going to be able to get damage through? Not quite. Mobility allows him to move away here. Already took the 13s, the mounted archery. That at least helped him to move out of a few of those cases. The problem is that the bottom is already taking insane damage. And this one should fall. With 3 heroes dead, and now Azmodan moving in too, that should be an easy one. Why on God's green earth are they not taking that keep? That was a free kill on the keep. I guess, I mean, it's gonna fall with a wave, right? But if you take the keep down immediately, you'll have an easier time going for the core. There was no reason to not take it, but they just let it go. They should still be able to do a lot of work here, but there is a chance for a counter-engage because Cocoon is ready, and if Nubarak dives in deep, well, if he dies immediately, then that's never gonna happen. He gets the Cocoon out, and he actually gets safe. Super healing potion with value, locked down through the Ring of Frost, not quite successful, and now everybody's pushed back. Jaina with the Ice Block trying to survive long enough to save herself, but that's not the case, and now Hanzo is also low and gets dropped. Slept and dropped, and that should be game. And it looks like the Trying Dutchman are going to be successful once more. Horrify against Zagara, and she is down as Mal'Ganis fell claws through the ranks, sleeps in Uberak, puts him to sleep, and Uberak is actually diving into the team, trying to slow the core crush down. It's not working out for them. Nope, they're going to lose game number 2 as well. GG and well played, as we have the Trying Dutchman trying hard and succeeding in the series, taking a best of 3 victory against Team Rodimus.